and they respond. They have their own way and they tell us, and then we can respond right back. But if you're online and the flood happened at SMX or near SMX, take out your cell phone and you can actually put it in yourself and you can vote it up or vote it down. So you have rescue mapping. That's another initiative. Next one. This is called crowdsourcing, right? Our bayanihan. Then we started putting together, what do people need? Kasi ang dami, pero iba-iba. GMA 7 will write about its efforts. Sagip Ka Pamilya, ABS-CBN will write about its efforts. The Red Cross will write. What about let's put them all together in one place so that kung gusto mong tumulong, nandito silang lahat. And then we categorized it by city, and it's there. You can catalog the relief needs, and you can also look for where to volunteer if you want to volunteer. Next slide. Crowdsourcing, remember? Bayanihan. We asked the online world to map relief operations and relief needs, and they did. They mapped where things were going. So we were able to actually see the flow of goods, or not see the flow of goods. You know, of course, by the 5th day, there were still no real organized way of getting food and water to the victims, right? But the people online bayanihan, ibang klase siya. They were mapping relief operations and relief needs. DSWD was putting it directly into action. DSWD had its own live crowdsourced map with us. It was working. Next slide. Siyempre, walang communications. Yun yung pinakamahirap sa lahat. So we asked people. The telcos will tell you, Smart and Globe said it's on. Our guy was in Tacloban, hindi naman siya on eh. So we asked people to map saan merong signal. And that's what they did, and it worked. Diba? So crowdsourcing again, you can see it at a glance. Next slide. And finally, our team decided, Paterno, he spent 2 days in Manila when they arrived, and then he went back. We decided to go back by land. We brought in an IP satellite van so that you can have broadband over a small group of an area. And we use that to start to ask people to map where the roads are okay para makadaan ng sasakyan, and where infrastructure, where basically does it have electricity. Those are still the key things. And people did. It works. Crowdsourcing is real-time information that it would take weeks before our government infrastructure can get the information to you. But if each of us, on our own, in different parts of the Philippines, work together to do it, we'll see it within 20 minutes. It's amazing, etong bayanihan na to. Next slide. This I love, because one of the huge needs was just that. You can't reach the person you love or your friend or your family, right? So you go crazy in Manila or in Hong Kong or in London. So what one of our guys did, he's our data scientist, Russ Shepard, he contacted Google and he said, Google, let's work together to actually make the people finder accessible to the people on the ground. So we got the coding from the back end, and we were able to list it and give it to DSWD. It worked with the DSW list. But remember, Facebook has a facial recognition system. And if you're my friend, if you are looking for someone and the person you're looking for is your friend, when you see the picture on my page, it will tell you that that person's been identified. So we asked Facebook to open this up to us, and they did. And they actually sent people to come help code this. So what you see is a search bar on Rappler. These pictures of the people there are the ones in Tacloban who are still trying to reach their family. Zach Yuson, and he's here somewhere, he went with the team and he started taking photos of them and started uploading them onto Facebook. This page sits on Facebook and it's connected to Google Person Finder. So when we find somebody, when somebody says, this is my daughter, Both Google Person Finder, the DSWD list, and the Facebook facial recognition kicks in. That's very cool. It's something new technology can do. It's something we can use, and it's also with your help, because all of this is crowdsourced, except for Zach, who really had to go and snap a photo of hundreds of people who are in the hospital or waiting for relief goods on the line. You can see they're still smiling, but they want to reach out, and we can help. Bayanihan. Okay, let me take you to Project Agos itself. This is Project Agos. Let's go to the live site. What is it? It's the first time globally where you have top-down government structure. CCC, Secretary Lucille Sering, working with OCD, with every single top-down structure in government, right? Working with bottom-up civic engagement. Tayo, if all of us get online to help the government, and why should we not help? Kasi naman we're all in this together, we will do something that's never been done globally. And that's exactly what Agos is. On this page, you can just see, this is you'll see this, it's on Rappler, but at the top, there's 3 links, before, during, and after. You've got to prepare, respond, and recover. Under prepare, the maps, the hazard maps are there. Do you live in an area that's vulnerable? Diba? Do you need to, if you're being evacuated to another place, you can check whether that place is in a vulnerable area. Help yourself, help the government help you. Help your family help you. If your father or your mother doesn't know about the hazard map, tell them about it. Then after that, let's go to the respond. The respond page, go ahead and click. And when you go to the respond page, you'll see whatever the live map is that's being crowdsourced right then. And you can see these are some of it. Let's go back to the slide na lang, Doms. Oh, there you go. Oh, go back, go back. It clicked. He blew it apart. There's the map. And this is where relief operations are ongoing now. This is done in conjunction. This is DSWD mapping it. DSWD is very systematic in this. But you cannot give out aid if security and roads aren't in place. And that's part of the challenge now. So let's go under prepare. You have all of the things you can do, plus the stories that are there. Then during the disaster, you have all of the things I showed you earlier. Bayanihan, the crowdsourced maps, information that we can help. And then the last part is relief, rescue, relief. What are you going to do with it? Okay, let's go back to the slide. I want you, those are things that you can look at. They're things that we've created for you. We're working with Secretary Sering and the Climate Change Commission, all the other national government groups. As you know, as I know, it's not enough what's being done. And everyone in this room is actually a multiplier. If you help, we will get one step closer to helping save lives. That's what it means now. I'm sure you heard we're the 3rd most disaster-prone country in the world. Why is Rappler so interested in this? Because reality is, if we don't help, we will die. It's that simple. We need to work on this now. Metro Manila, where we're standing, the storm surge will hit us here. Metro Manila is the 2nd most disaster-prone city in the world, vulnerable to climate change. So let's go to the next one. This is what I want to end with, right? There's stories in all of this because real people like you and me are affected by what's going on with the climate change around the world. As our team went back to Tacloban, I asked them to do something simple. Not something formal like journalism, but to just keep a blog of what they felt. And that's what this is, The Long Road to Tacloban. I want to just read to you what Paterno S. Maquel, the reporter who was missing for 4 days with Franz Lopez. I want to read to you what he blogged. Because to me, this is what we want Project Agos to do. He said, I took this road 2 days ago on the way back to Manila. I traveled with our cameraman, Franz Lopez, after being stranded in typhoon-hit eastern Samar for 4 days. Because of Yolanda, we had no cell phone signals or internet there.